Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in on another nice Wednesday before the rains all hit tonight. We're going to get rain for sure. I've got a new definition for what toughness is. If you look it up, there is a picture now of Charlie Morton. Wow. Braves take game one of the World Series. Charlie Morton, that's amazing. Charlie Morton threw 16 pitches with a broken leg, a shot off his leg. He thought he could tough it out. They actually took x-rays, thought he was okay, came back in, pitched another inning, actually struck out Altuve, and on that strikeout, landed on his leg, realized, went back in. This time they saw fractured leg. He's out for the rest of the year. Wow, but he gets a lot of recognition for being the toughest guy on the planet to throw 16 pitches with a broken leg. It was the Braves right off the bat. Jorge Soler, first batter. Bye-bye. 1-0. Austin Riley drove a run in the first. They went up 5-0 on the way to a 6-2 win. The bullpen then took over. So we are underway on the World Series. That is for sure. It was Atlanta the underdog. Wait, I really confused Jay Morgan. Who are you for in this World Series?
I like the Braves in this one.
Oh, I could not tell.
Yeah.
By the jersey that you're wearing, the tattoo you have on your arm.
It's subtle. Very subtle.
I'm lying about the tattoo. That's not really the case. Yesterday, we saw what it takes to be a superstar. You got to perform at a big level in a big market, right? And everybody realizes what you'd been the year before, and now you got people like Stephen A. Smith, Screaming A. Smith, who are now going crazy for you. Other than passing, because he thinks Lonzo Ball is the best passer. Other than that, Ja Morant is his new superstar. So Ja was all over ESPN yesterday. Congratulations. And the Grizzlies will play again tonight. So we look forward to all of that. But he is clearly reaching superstardom. We wondered if that would be the case. And look, we're only 3 games in. I get it. He did get 40 against the Lakers, though. He did get, 27 and like a lot of other important stats in the win over the Clippers. So, he keeps this up, which I got a feeling he will. Remember that year 2 to 3 leap, the great ones, the ones who do become superstars, that's where they take over. That seems to be, at least early on, where he is taking over. Sad note today. The inventor, the father of the 3-3-5 defense, and one of the great characters of all time. Joe Lee Dunn passes away at the age of 75. I think the last couple of years with dementia were not kind to Joe Lee. Joe Lee was a kind guy, though. I will tell you this. Joe Lee was the first, he or Pepper Rogers, I can't remember. They were the first 2 big guys that I ever saw that wouldn't wear socks. That was just not going to wear. No, that was their style. Joe Lee Dunn never wore headsets. Joe Lee Dunn never had a play sheet. Everything was done in his head. And he was an aggressive guy. I mean, the 3-3-5 was all about, you didn't know where the extra attacker was going to come from, but it was coming. He was going to blitz. He really was terrific. And Joe Lee made stops all over the place. He joined his father's staff when he was a young guy at New Mexico, became the head coach at New Mexico. He went to Memphis. He was at South Carolina. At Ole Miss, he was DC and interim head coach for Billy Brewer when Billy was fired at the end of his tenure. He was also at Arkansas, Mississippi State. He did a late in his life, not the end, not the last job, but close to the last job. He was the high school coach at Ridgeway. And, he was just a funny guy. He and if we're full disclosure here, the only time I've ever seen Tommy West and an assistant really mad was at Joe Lee Dunn. He fired Joe Lee Dunn like right in the middle of a practice, which was El Nutso, and then Tommy took over the DC role and being head coach. And I don't know if he ever really. I don't think he would have done that again. If he had it to do all over again, we'd have to ask Tommy to be sure, but I don't think that worked out so well. Could you imagine Joe Lee Dunn was hired by a head coach named Hal Mumme? Two of the great offbeat characters, Hal Mumme and Joe Lee Dunn, on the same staff. And on the different sides of the ball, that was a creative office for sure. But our condolences to Joe Lee's wife and his whole family, the passing at the age of 75. While we're on the topic of coaches, I guess Carson Palmer put this out, who's become a regular on talk shows. And he was on the Dan Patrick Show. He was just talking about who is going to be the new head coach at his alma mater, USC. So he brought up the name Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin was asked about that at a press conference, and he took great offense to that being asked.
And Palmer connecting you to some college jobs.
Hey, guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? Anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
Now, I love Mike Tomlin. He was a GA at the U of M. I really do. And I love it that he's got Keith Butler still on his staff. I loved it when he had Radney Fiechner on his staff. It was like Memphis in Pittsburgh. I do. I love it. And I think Tomlin is a good coach. But when he says something like that, I mean, it just makes you go, well, wait a second. Is Andy Reid on the hot seat? Is Sean Payton on the hot seat? No, the reason your name is being mentioned is because things haven't gone as well as they could have in Pittsburgh the last couple of years. I hope you hold on to your job. The Rooneys are incredible about never jumping the gun on coaches, and I commend them for that. But that's the reason. I don't know why you would get that upset. All he had to say was, come on, guys. I got the best job in the world. I'm not leaving. Thanks for asking. That's not what he did. Last thing, and that is we got a game tonight. 901 FC playing for some meaningful positioning here. They will be playing Tulsa. Both teams are tied for third place in the USL Championship Central. And they have 44 points apiece each. The winner tonight basically gets third place in that division. And that's significant because if you're in fourth place, the way the playoffs will work, and both teams are in the playoffs, which is a good thing. First time the 901s ever made the playoffs. A lot of records going on this year with 901 FC. But if you finish fourth, you take on Tampa Bay, and they may be the best team in all of the USL Championship. If you finish third, I think you get Charlotte. It's Charlotte or Pittsburgh, but I think it's like 88% chances by the ESPN odds makers that you would take on Charlotte. You would rather do that than to take on Tampa Bay. 901 FC's won 2 of the 3 this year, but this should be really close and good. I hope the weather stays good enough, long enough, because the last time 901 FC had a play was in Louisville, and it was raining the whole darn game. I know that couldn't have been fun. Their coach joins us right now, Ben Pierman, kind enough on game day to chat with us. I hope there's a crowd there tonight because there used to be unbelievable crowds pre-COVID, and that would help against this team. Good morning, Ben. This is a pretty even game?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It should be a pretty good game tonight for sure.
You are 2-1 against this team. What's gone right? What did not happen right in the loss?
Yeah, they're a very progressive team. They like to push their fullbacks high, be pretty wide open, and get out into the attack and build through the back and get in the possession game. And when we lost to them on the road, we were coming off of an 11-day break. We were quite slow, quite unfit. It didn't go well for us. But at home, hopefully we can use our crowd, our energy to have a little bit more, mental push and emotional capacity here. But it'll be a good game. They're a good side. They're really well coached. And as you mentioned, we're both fighting for third place, which for us at this point would be, just an incredible achievement this season.
Well, you're right. I mean, you've already got records. The most points, 44. The most goals, I think you're at 41 now after the Louisville ball game. You've never made the playoffs before until this year, and you're doing it this year, and I'll brag on you here. You're doing it with not near the budget that the team used to have. And the marketing is not what it used to be. How have you been able to manage this?
Yeah, I think everybody's had their, difficulties coming out of the pandemic and COVID and just not just in life or in sport, but just all over the place. So, for us, we've just tried to focus on the things that we can control, which is our attitude and our effort. We can show up every single day. It doesn't matter how much guys get paid or what bells and whistles we may or may not have this season. For us, it's just about doing the work that is required. And our guys have been unbelievable. They're honest. They're hardworking. They know what's at stake. They know what the mission is. They know what needs to be done. And I just tell them, look, every single day we need to go out and work as hard as we possibly can. And then win, lose, or draw, we'll hang our hat on that. And I tell them, I think if we do things the right way, more times than not, the results will take care of themselves and we'll be a good team.
Who are the guys that most surprised you coming into this year? You didn't really know that they would come through the way that they have.
Yeah, one of our top players is a young player named Laurent Kissiedu from Ivory Coast. He came in and trained and trialed with us during preseason, earned himself a contract and has basically started every single game beside one. We also have Kyle Murray's been scoring a ton of goals, which we knew that would be the case with him. Mark Segbers and Leston Paul are our two main leaders. They've been guys that have been here a long time serving this club. So we've even with injuries and some of the things that have happened, we've just pushed on every single day, taking steps forward and forward and forward, and just trying to get better and better. And that's still the case now. We got to continue to improve, and hopefully we can put on a good show tonight.
You mentioned Murphy. He didn't play in the game against Louisville. Neither did Segbers. That was a yellow card accumulation, so I'm assuming he is available. What about your scorer? Obviously, you're going to need him tonight.
Yeah, it'll be probably a game-time decision. I think, Kyle is the most professional player I've ever coached. He shows up, he takes care of himself. He's as honest can be. So when he's hurting, he's hurting. So we have to make sure that he's in a position to help the team and not further injure himself. But every single player in this club, in this community right now, just wants to win tonight because we know what's at stake. So hopefully he's available. We'll kind of keep going from there and figure it out this evening.
Can you say what's ailing him now exactly?
Yeah, he's got like a kind of a growing hip flexor type strain. He actually did it before the previous Louisville game where we won. We played him about 10, 15 minutes, fully went the next match against Atlanta, and then came back and was in a bad spot. So that's the other thing we have to be careful of, is making sure that, he gets as close to fully recovered as possible without, risking more and more injury.
In reading these game notes, even Tulsa makes a big deal about trying to get into third place so you avoid Tampa. Is Tampa that good a team where you really don't want to play them?
Look, Tampa's probably the best team in the league. They were in the final last year that got canceled because of the COVID. They're experienced, they're together, they're a high quality group. But I don't think anybody wants to go play Charlotte or Pittsburgh right now. Charlotte, I think, have won like 6 in a row or 7 in a row. They're probably the hottest team in USL. So nobody wants to play Tampa, but I don't think anybody wants to play Charlotte or Pittsburgh either. But then in the end of it, I don't think many teams really want to play us right now. And I bet Tulsa's saying the same thing. Hey, you give us a chance at anybody, nobody wants to play them. So, our focus right now is just tonight's 90 minutes. if we do what we think we are capable of, then like you mentioned, we can set another record, clinch third place, lock that in, and take another step forward with our future goals, making a good run here in the playoffs.
That was my next question. So if you do win this game and you get the 3 points, no matter what happens the rest of the way, because you still play Oak City on Saturday, it doesn't matter what happens with the Energy win. Get 3 tonight. You're third place.
Correct. So if we win tonight, we're locked in for third place, and then we actually play Indy 11 Saturday.
It's Indy 11.
Oklahoma City play Tulsa, so that's another big game. But we can lock it in tonight. That'll be the biggest deal for us to be able to take that. But like you said, win, lose, or draw, we got to get prepared for Saturday no matter what, and then win, lose, or draw that game against Indy 11. Then we've got to get ourselves prepared for whatever playoff match we have. So that's kind of been our focus all season is doing the best we can, playing a great game, and then preparing straight away for the next match.
Let us hope that Kyle Murphy is healthy. Let's hope the rain holds off for a bit, and let's hope we get a big crowd tonight.
Yes, sir. That's the goal.
All right. Good luck to you. We'll see you tonight.
Thanks again.
That is Ben Pierman. He is really an extraordinary head coach for the 901 FC. It is amazing. Tim Mulqueen, for a couple of years, a solid guy, a great tacticianer. I don't think he quite related to the players the way Ben does. Ben was his assistant. I don't know if there was, sort of a reluctance to immediately name him when they fired Mulqueen. He was the interim guy, and then he won him over. And that was a good decision by Peter Freund and Craig Unger to go in this direction. Now, will they be able to keep this guy? Because their budget is lower than a lot of the USL championship teams. I would imagine if people looked around and saw with what he's got and what he's doing, they would have to think Ben Pierman is a pretty hot commodity. It'd be interesting to see what unfolds with 901 FC when this season is over. They can really help themselves tonight. You heard him say, which I loved, that, nobody wants to face Tampa. Pittsburgh, by the way, Pittsburgh is always like they're men against boys. They're always older and experienced. Charlotte's won all those games in a row. But he said, who wants to face us? We've been pretty good. So we'll see tonight, and I like that kind of attitude. That is for sure. If you golfers are playing at Miramichi or Galloway or Timber Truss, and you hear somebody yelling, 4, Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Smensdorf has just hit India. Now, he does that. Along with being known as the worst golfer in town, people also say, if you're thinking of selling your home, get the job done with Sheldon. Instead of practicing his golf game, he spends most of his time making sure his clients get the absolute best service and the most money for their homes using his highly successful strategic marketing program. So while he's often known as 3-putter, triple bogey, and they ought to just say double bogey is max on that, for goodness sake, who else is going to tell you that if you're thinking of selling your home, talk to 2 or 3 people. Make sure one of them is Sheldon. Remember, or write it down, you find out why his clients love him if you call 483-0546 or go to memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Do it now for your own sake. We do have a busy show coming up. It's my partner, Stats Norsworthy. We'll talk a little SEC. It seems like every week Ole Miss has a big game. This one is down on the plains at Auburn. That will be a lot of fun. And I got to ask him his thoughts on the cocktail party. I just don't see how anybody could pick Florida over Georgia this year. It is a neutral, but Florida just doesn't seem to have it like they used to. And Georgia is, especially on defense, they are for real. And then a little bit later in the program, you know who's coming to town Sunday, don't you? It's Lane College. But you know who the head coach of Lane College is? The Little General. Andre Turner will join us about 10:42. So there you have it. That's the lineup. We are officially underway. You are listening to Wolo and Friends.
This is Brett Norsworthy, and I want to thank you for listening through all these years and want you to continue listening to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, and to me with Gabe Kuhn on Sports Time with Gabe and Stats every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 560 and 98.5 FM.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Bellyacre's motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. Two great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday, 11A to 9P. Friday and Saturday, 11A to 10P. Regalia, Sunday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Dare Ya or the Double Dare Ya, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Bellyacres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Bellyacres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Bellyacres.
The bridge is open. Now it's really easy to take the 15-minute drive to Cypress View Golf and Recreation and enjoy the spectacular upgrades made to the clubhouse and golf course. The fairways are looking great and the greens are better than ever. No traffic, no excuses. If you're tired of paying greens and cart fees, Cypress View has a membership that includes unlimited golf, cart, range balls, and more. A family membership is just $199 per month plus tax. Members also have access to the Olympic-sized pool, fitness center, and tennis courts. The golf shop is stocked with FootJoy apparel, Titleist bags, and equipment. A huge selection of Puka headwear and more. Cypress View Grill has a wide selection of choices from burgers to brats, Phillies to quesadillas, flatbreads to oven-fired pizzas. You're covered from golf to goods to grub. And now Cypress View has a beer license, so grab a cold one in the grill. See why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is one of the fastest growing clubs in the Mid-South. Call 870-739-6305 or visit online cypressviewgolf.com.
It's time to get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, and Gossett's got the goods to put you on the road today. 2021 Kia Forte, 41 mpg highway, $249 a month. 2021 Kia Rio S hatchback, 41 mpg ready to road trip at $258 a month. Get turbo power with 2022 Kia Soul, $267 a month. And they're not leases, you own them. Forte, $249, Rio, $258, Soul, $267. You want it? We got it at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 72 months at 2.9%, $29.99 down payment. Forte, ME 409,215, MSRP 19,335. Rio, ME 427,894, MSRP 19,755. Sold in 7808,276, MSRP 20,615. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/21. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
When I think about my old partner, Brett Norsworthy, I think great things. I think sweetness. Well, and now it reminds me it's Halloween. It reminds me of Dinstall's. You know, this is where you go. This is your Halloween headquarters, and caramel apples, Granny Smith apples dipped in that fresh, chewy caramel. You can get it rolled in the pecans. You can get it dipped in chocolate. That's the turtlet. That may be the ultimate. But wait a second, there's something new. You could get the Rind candied apples. That's where they take those apples, and now they roll it in Cashew Crunch. Or if you want to get just turtlettes or anything else, Heavenly Hash, whatever. The place you go for Halloween, if you want all your trick-or-treaters to really be treated, you go to Dinstall's, and you got 5 locations: Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, Pleasant View, or downtown. Every week's a big week for Ole Miss, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I got to ask you straight out. Have you ever seen anything tougher than Charlie Morton throwing 16 pitches, striking out Altuve on a broken leg?
Pretty dang tough, wasn't it? That was a bucket full of guts last night. Performance by him and by the Braves, just reflective of Brian Snitker's club really all year. Dave, that was a team that went into August under 500, had really never been able to put it together. They made a lot of great deals around the deadline, one of the biggest being Mr. Rosario, Mr. October for this year. And the Braves now up 1. Now that the Astros historically are not good in Game 1. They're now 0-4 all time in Game 1s of World Series games. And I think it's time, Dave. I know we'll get to football, but I think it's time to dispel. I know a lot of people want their pound of flesh at the Astros and the trash can banging. You don't have this level of success sustained over all these years just because you cut an edge, just because you were able to cheat. You got to be pretty good to do it this long, this well, like the Astros have done it.
No question.
Look, move along. Nothing to see here. And the punishment's been meted out. I mean, they paid. Ask A.J. Hinch if there was any punishment.
Right.
He's in Detroit now.
No kidding. And here's the other thing. And I'm not comparing myself to a major leaguer, but you tell me whether it's a pitch, a fastball, or a slider, or a curveball. Am I going to hit it? You still got to hit the ball.
You still got to get the barrel on the bat,
right?
And you still got to hit it over the boards. That's right, Dave. I think they could stand out there on the mound and go, getting ready to throw you a fastball, belt high.
Right.
And it still takes an incredible talent to knock it out of the ballpark.
No doubt about it. Yeah, they probably have paid the price. I will say to you,
and
though,
it's sure not Dusty Baker's fault.
No, he came in to rescue him. I commend him. I
like Crazy Dusty, and I used to not. And now I don't know who to pull for in this series. I'm kind of for the Braves because they haven't won it in a long time.
I'm kind of,
but
for
I'm
the
okay
Braves.
by the Stros.
I'm for the Braves because the
first
Stros
deep
beat
South
my
World
White
Series
Sox.
ever.
Yeah.
Did you realize that?
No. Both markets.
First
call
two
Atlanta.
Southern.
You call Atlanta Deep South?
Where else would you call it? Where else would you get
I don't
the Rockies?
know. I guess so.
I mean, if Atlanta ain't in the South, what gives? I mean,
the South
ask General Sherman.
I guess you're right. I think of Florida.
Put a good match to it.
I don't know. The world has changed since
well, it's very
General
international,
Sherman.
cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, and so is Houston.
Oh yeah.
But the South has evolved. I mean, look at Charlotte. Look at Nashville. Look at us. Look at how international Memphis is.
Absolutely. And I will say there is one
And
common
that's a great
denominator between Houston and Atlanta. I mean, a very common denominator. More traffic than you want to deal with.
No kid.
That is definitely the common
And
denominator.
they can do a parking lot, can't they?
All right, every game, it seems, is a big one for Ole Miss. I mean, what a schedule. And now it's Auburn on the Plains. And I was a little surprised, frankly, that the Rebels are 2.5-point underdogs in this game.
I'm not. It started at almost Pick'em, and it's worked to that. And I think a lot of that is home field, and a lot of that is Bo Nix. And Bo Nix was the difference in this game last year. He beat Ole Miss. He was the wrecking ball late in that game and the controversial call. But Ole Miss has really grown from those heartbreaks of last year. Look at the heartbreaks last year. The heartbreak at Fayetteville and the 6-interception Matt Corral day.
Right.
Well, they've atoned for that. The heartbreak last year and the 5-interception day at Baton Rouge against LSU. They've atoned for that. Got that win back. Now, both of those were both atonements were in Oxford at Vaught Hemingway. Now you got to take it on the road to get revenge from last year and turn that around. And all our preseason picks, really last week was the first one that Ole Miss has turned around from preseason picks from what most prognosticators thought would be a loss into a win. I think most probably had this week in the preseason, I know I did, had going to the Plains as a loss. Now you turn this into a win this week, and then November starts with Liberty and Coach Hugh Freeze's return, then Texas A&M in Oxford, then Vanderbilt in Oxford, and then Thanksgiving night in the Egg Bowl at Starkville. But a win this week on the Plains for Ole Miss, and you can start dreaming, Ole Miss fans can start dreaming some crazy stuff, but you still got to win.
I am now referring to my preseason with you of the Ole Miss season.
I've got your copy in front of me.
And I had them 8-4, and I actually have them winning the game in Auburn. I will tell you that when I prognosticated 8-4 and 4-4 in the league, I didn't think they'd be as good as they were. Now I actually thought they were going to beat Ole Miss. So Alabama.
LSU.
So
yeah. You didn't in the preseason. You did week of. Yeah.
Right. And I think they're going to win this game by at least a touchdown. See, the thing about Bo Nix.
Do I even need to go down? Do I even need to make the trip to Montgomery Friday and be at the Renaissance where you were at the bowl game with the Tigers? If I don't need to, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm actually going with my wife to a really cool place called Crystal Bridges.
Oh yeah,
which is in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, you will love that.
Yeah. So it's an off week.
You talking about seeing fall's fiery foliage? I don't know if it's really hit yet, but if it has, you'll see the wonderment from the Almighty. That's a great trip. Good for y'all. Have you ever been?
No.
Oh, you'll love it. Y'all will love it. And it's Gail's favorite weekend of the year, Halloween.
It is. And
our favorite holiday.
We'll be back in time for the Tiger basketball game and for all the trick-or-treaters Sunday night.
Good deal.
It'll be a great little off weekend.
You just going to be eating Cashew Crunch and drinking that Tiger Paw all the way up on the ride?
Here's the thing is that, she won't let me have that. That's only for the trick-or-treaters. I can't have any of it.
I know. None of the good stuff for
No, she's going to hold out on me because, I got to exercise more.
But this will be big. It's a matchup of two great quarterbacks Saturday night at a great setting in college football. I promise you, I'm not being patronizing. I mean this when I say it. I think the Auburn student section, how they bring it and how they bring it with good sportsmanship and fun, I think is the best student section in all the SEC. Night game, it'll be kicking off about the time the sun's setting and all those different hues and colors you get at a fall sunset. And it's a terrific matchup. And what Lane Kiffin has done to have Ole Miss now 16 and 6, or I'm sorry, 11-6 in his tenure at Ole Miss, 5 wins last year, with the 6 this year, and started last Saturday. Dave just played about as crummy as you can in the first quarter. It was 7-0. It felt like 28-0, and was going to be 14-0.
Sure was,
except for a big play on the goal line.
Well, that turned it around.
And then it was all down.
Yeah.
It did. And a defensive play, and the defense really kind of carried the day last Saturday in that win. Matt Corral was good, but he is really nicked up. He is really banged up from that performance at Tennessee. And it was an old-fashioned kind of win, rushing and defense.
Two more quick things for you. I don't see how Florida wins this thing at the cocktail party. And
I don't either, but it didn't last year either.
Yeah. I just think their defense, the Georgia defense, is much better than it was a year ago. Would you concur?
Oh, I think it possibly could be one of the great SEC defenses of all time. Let's play out the rest of the season. But what they do in the middle, what they do with N'Kobe Dean,
from Horn Lake at linebacker. I swear, Dave, I think I could have Jacoby Dean somewhere on my Heisman list. It may not be to win it, but a bouquet at second or third, I sure may consider. And what Georgia has been able to do with really not knowing week to week who's going to be the quarterback. Kirby Smart's done a terrific job. We all liked him in the preseason, and I think they put it on the Gators. A really quiet, good game Saturday night in Starkville. Kentucky and Mark Stoops coming to Mississippi State. Dave, the Mississippi State, when you go through teams and you try to find two great wins, they have it two as good a wins as anybody in the country. The win over NC State and the win over A&M. If they could have back some of the histrionics from the Liberty Bowl, look at the record they could be working on. If they could have back-to-back games against the Tigers of Memphis and the Tigers of LSU, Mississippi State would be looking forward and still are to a great November. It is Separation Saturday in Starkville.
It'll be fun to watch, that's for sure. Last thing, the all-SEC basketball teams have come out. 18 guys, right? Bama's got 2 on the first team.
They're coming to Memphis.
Kentucky's only got 1, and they got 4 all told. Tennessee, I am shocked, has only John Fulkerson. I'm really surprised at that. And out of 18 guys, not one Ole Miss Rebel.
No, there's not. It's kind of going to be patchwork early in the year. Try to get some consistency in that November period. They got a good tournament they go to the week before Thanksgiving, and then Saturday, December 4th is the first big one circled for Kermit Davis and the Rebels when they entertain Penny Hardaway and the Tigers. And what will the Tigers be ranked? The Tigers could be number 1 that Saturday morning in Oxford.
You're just, I know you. You are thinking Gonzaga's going down early. I am not convinced of that at all. I know.
Look at that schedule.
But look at Memphis'
dodge
schedule.
Anybody. Well, Memphis' schedule is brutal. And we just mentioned they play Alabama and improved Georgia.
Right.
They play Ole Miss. They play Tennessee. What they're going to get in New York, Virginia Tech's going to be tough. That second game in New York won't be in Brooklyn.
Both teams
St. Louis
are in the top 40 of the power rankings in
Man,
Brooklyn.
I love when all this converges. Dave, happy 10th anniversary to you and to me 10 years ago tonight at about 10:50. If you would have been a Catholic priest, you could have ministered the last rites to me.
Mental collapse?
Mental, physical, emotional, and almost bowels. I mean, it was almost everything.
Honestly, it was one of, it's probably the greatest sporting event that you and I have ever attended in person.
Yeah, it's side by side with everything going on.
Right. I would say 2008 would have been the greatest of sporting events.
I was with you. I was holding the fort back down here. You were in San Antonio. You the whole radio station was there except for me. But 10 years ago tonight, the David Freese home run. That night, the Cardinals used 22 out of 25 men. The only 3 that didn't appear. The next night starter, Chris Carpenter, Mitchell Boggs, and Arthur Rhodes.
Wow.
And Arthur Rhodes was up warming up, getting ready to come in.
Mitchell Boggs and Arthur Rhodes. Those are 2 names we'll never remember except for you.
Yeah, and Chris Carpenter, who went out there the next night and locked it up for the world. It feels like it's been 1908 since the Cardinals won it the last time, Dave.
Well,
it really does.
I can understand that because the Cubs, just a few years ago, they were able to win. I miss you, my friend. Thank you much.
I miss you, Dave. Have a good one, buddy.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Y'all will love that.
I can't wait. And I hope the colors are really out. That is for sure. That is Brett Norsworthy. I'm sitting in the Family Leisure Studio. Remember the Relax at Home sale going on right now. That's pool, shuffleboard. I love the air hockey. They've got the massage chairs. They've got the big theater seating for the big game or for a movie. Just get to I-40 and Whidden Road where family and fun come together. That is Family Leisure. And this portion of the show is also brought to you by the good folks at Old Dominic. Whether you're stopping in for a refreshing drink, maybe you're exploring Memphis, maybe you're finishing a night out in style, the bar at Old Dominic is really cool. It offers up carefully crafted cocktails to suit anybody's taste in an elegant yet not pretentious atmosphere. It's really a cool place. Pull up a stool at the bar. You can join the old Dominic mixologist for a cocktail made entirely with spirits produced under the watchful eye of master distiller Alex Castle. She's so cool. She will not release a product until she feels it's done. Like, people will go, wait. And I mean guys with great palates, they'll taste the bourbon. They'll go, it's ready. She'll go, no, it's not. She'll hold it. It's not ready. You got to check out this place. Do the tour, too. That is Old Dominic Distillery right there at 305 South Front Street. This is going to be fun when we come back. The little general himself, the head basketball coach at Lane College, coming to Memphis on Sunday. We chat with Andre Turner.
The all-new Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
I got him on the line, Jeff Allen, the king of Happy at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey folks, need a new ride that gets 41 MPG? 2021 Kia Forte, $249 a month. 2021 Kia Rio S hatchback, 41 MPG, only $258 a month. Plus a 2022 turbocharged Kia Soul, ready for that road trip at $267 a month.
Plus, you'll always get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program. Remember, Forte $249, Rio $258, Soul $267. And don't sell your trade till you check with us.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 72 months at 2.9%, $29.99 down payment. Forte, NE 409-215, MSRP 19,335. Rio, ME 427,894, MSRP 19,755. Sold, N 7808-276, MSRP 20,615. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/21. Dealer stock only.
Working at Gateway Tire is not just a job, it's a profession. They're looking for career-minded people who want to advance their career in the auto industry. With 5-day work weeks, paid vacation, insurance, 401k plans, and much more, you'll enjoy their hometown approach to customer service. Come by and make Gateway Tire and Service Center the right step for your career.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
She's a good girl. Final portion of our Wednesday brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and of course, the tankless water heater. Maybe time for you to get the new technology. It's the best. You never run out of hot water. It only heats the water you use, so you save money on your gas bill every month. And Conway, right now, John's saying it's the perfect time because he's going to give you 12 months to pay interest-free on this new technology, or he'll give you $250 for that ancient old tank water heater, which isn't efficient at all, and you never have to worry about the tank bursting because there is no tank. All you got to do is make the call, 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. What a thrill it is to bring onto this show the little general himself, now the head basketball coach at Lane College. Congratulations, first, on getting the gig. Second, how weird is it going to be that you're coaching against your alma mater? My goodness.
Hey, top of the morning, my man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's absolutely a thrill. I appreciate the congrats. And, it's going to be different, absolutely different. But also it's going to be exciting too. And I'm looking forward to just the opportunity to be back at home and to be in front of folk that I love being around, and folk I feel like that love me and have supported me for a number of years. And so it's going to be different, but man, it's going to be a great time.
Well, absolutely everybody's going to be pulling for you except for Sunday. After Sunday, they're going to be going.
Well, I think they'll still be pulling for me, but they probably won't be pulling for my team.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best way to put it. How did you get this gig? I know Derek Burrows, former Tiger football player, is the AD there. How in the world did that all come full circle for you to become the head basketball coach, where you were at Mitchell doing a great job?
Yeah, well, you made the connection, and Davis. I guess even a couple of years ago, Derek and I, had spoken, and it was just this, just in roundabout conversation. So, and it was like, so how do you, feel about becoming a, basketball coach? You think you might want to coach at Lane, and I was like, well, opportunity presented itself. I said, timing is right. I said, it could be a good situation, and here we are. I mean, the opportunity came up, and Coach Burrows reached out to me, and we had, a real good, candid conversation. And of course, you have to go through the process, and I did, and fortunately, they chose me as their head basketball coach, and so with the a mindset that we were trying to go somewhere, we're trying to do something, and we're trying to do something different. And my approach here is a holistic deal. It's not basketball is definitely a key component because I'm the head basketball coach, but it's about this school. It's about the city of Jackson as well, and so we want to make sure that we mend and bond the entire gamut of individuals around here, because I think that's how you really build a successful program.
Did you want to be a college coach for a long time? Because I thought you were really happy at Mitchell High School.
Oh, I was definitely. When you're at your alma mater, and what can happen is complacency, to an extent can kind of enter in, and you get almost satisfied, to an extent. But I've always wanted to coach on the next level, always, and that's why I've interviewed a number of times from different places, and it wasn't the time, it wasn't right, and it wasn't the right place, and so. This is exactly what this is. It's the right time and the right place for me out here in Jackson, Tennessee with Lane College.
All right, tell me a little bit about your team and who you're going to play on Sunday.
We're going to have I'm saying hopefully a group of scrappy guys. They're gonna get after it. Defensively, size wise, we're lacking a little bit, but because of some situations. But what you do is you play, with what you have, and as I told those guys, the ones that are going to get more opportunity on the court, you take advantage of the opportunity. And I said that as a basketball player, what greater atmosphere to rather be in than to go and perhaps play against the number 12th ranked team on some polls, and I think that could definitely be higher in some others, but. And then in a place as electric and as nice as the FedEx Forum, which would probably be the nicest arena that you'll play in throughout this season for sure. But as a competitor, as a basketball player, what better atmosphere to be in? And so that's what I'm selling to my guys, throughout this week. Last week as well, and just going there to compete with everything that you have, but with the understanding that at the end of the day, this is an extracurricular activity. It's it's a basketball game, so let's make sure we go to have fun.
Who'd you play last week? How did it work out?
Well, we just did like a little kind of walk through like a scrimmage. We did situational stuff, and just trying to get guys acclimated because and then we did we've done inter squad scrimmages and so. It's just a matter of me just trying to, put guys together. And actually, Memphis is going to be really our actual first contest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you got 7 guys from the Memphis area. You got one big guard, 6'6", from Venezuela. Who will be playing for you in this game on Sunday?
Well, we're gonna try to get as many of them in there as possible. I know all the guys from Memphis. They would love nothing more than to get on that floor in the FedEx Forum. So I'm gonna do my best to try to let every last one of them touch the floor because who knows if the experience come around again for those guys and have that opportunity. So. I'm going to do my best to try to spread it. But we're going to the lineup, of course, the biggest guy I got, is my 6'10" guy out of the transfer from FIU, Anthony Mason. And from there, we're 6'6" and 6'5", but because of some situations. But once again, we're going to be a scrappy bunch of guys that are going to get after it pretty good, and my whole deal is being disciplined. Understanding your roles and doing your jobs while you're on the court and not getting caught up in the game and the hoopla because we're in the FedEx Forum and we're playing against the number 12 team in the country, and you're looking at future pros on the other side, that you'll be competing against. But to look at it as a challenge, to see exactly, where I am. And for sure, that it's going to be, my mindset. And it's not going to be, okay, we get beat, we get beat by this many, it's going to be, something detrimental to the team. Not at all. We're looking at it as a barometer stick just to kind of look at, our guys and to say what it is that we continue to need to work on and to get better at.
Who is your point guard? Who's your little general?
My little general actually, that's funny because he transferred from Fisk, but he was my point guard on my first state championship team when I took over as head coach at Mitchell High School, Tyron Davis. And man, I'm talking about tough. He's what you want as a point guard. If you're the parents, you want him as a son. As your teacher, you want him as one of your students. Just a great kid all around. And I say kid, and I have to take that back. Great young man is what he is, and he understands where he is in life right now. And I'm blessed to be his head coach. I was blessed to be his head coach in high school, and man, it's something how things work out in life that now I get a chance to coach him, and he's how you doing? I get the chance to coach him and be around him because he's also my nephew. So it's a blessing all the way around.
I love it. I'm so happy for you. I really am. I can't wait to see you on Sunday, and appreciate you being on the show. And best of luck this season.
Man, I appreciate it. I tell you, we're looking forward to it, man. We know it's going to be a great experience, and we can't wait to don the FedEx Forum. I can't wait to see old friends and the Tiger Nation there. I know, in full fledged, and man, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity. And I know my family is, and family and friends are as well.
Our best to Desmond, all the Turners, and we'll see you at FedEx Forum 1:00 on Sunday.
I appreciate it, man. Me and all the girls will be there, man.
That's Andre Turner, the little general. So happy he could be on with us. I just hope he knocks him dead there. You couldn't ask for a better guy. That is the truth. We got to thank Ben Pierman, Brett Norsworthy, and, of course, Andre Turner. That was a lot of fun. Title sponsor for the show, it's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, also Genesis of Olive Branch. You want the best cars? You want the best service? You get on Lamar into Mississippi, exit 1, Craft Road, turn left, you're there. They've set the standard for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton. That'll do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Johnny Radio is next.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell here at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I want you to think about something. When was the last